Well, here we are with another do-it-yourself video. This is DIY Guy 123. And if you like my video, subscribe and you'll see all the things that I'm working on through my life in the garage. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to restore the performance of your air tools. It's a pretty easy maintenance item I'm going to talk to you about. And the symptoms that I was encountering were some of my air tools would work as good as they ever did, and then others just didn't seem to spin around very quickly. If it was an impact gun, it didn't have the power. If it was an impact wrench, well, I guess it all boils down to it didn't seem to have the power. Some of the devices, even like this air cutoff tool, just didn't even sound right. They just sounded like they were much slower, almost like they would if I came out in the garage was at -20 and I plugged in a cold air tool and it doesn't work right for a while. So what I found was, if I plugged the tool in and just hit the trigger like that, it wouldn't work very well. But if I take the two of them while I had the trigger pressed like that, if I took the two of them and pushed together like that, tried to compress them, and I'll show you, you see a little gap right there. See how that gap gets smaller and larger and smaller and larger? Anyway, when I would do that, the sound of the tool would change. It would go "rrrr," and then I'd let go "rrrr." And so it seemed pretty obvious to me that this quick coupler was the problem. Now, as soon as I changed the coupler on the tool, performance got better, but not perfect. And I actually had to change both the coupler on the female coupler and the male coupler. And I'll just show you some differences. So I've gone through all my tools and changed any that looked worn. See right there on the center of the screen, there's a ball bearing there. When you pull this down, you release the tension or the force on those ball bearings, and then the ball bearings can expand, go out, and then the male part of the coupler goes in, and then when you let go, it locks it in place because the ball bearings come towards that male coupler and lock it in place, and they lock it right in this collar, right here and here and here. Now, this is a newer one that doesn't have much wear. This one's middle of its life, and this one's worn out, and you can see, maybe hard to see in the camera, where the screwdriver or where the wrench is touching, that is narrow and wide and widest. And what I found was the worn ones just did not seem to engage as deeply in this coupler and press down on that little valve that's in the center of your screen. It's a spring-loaded valve, and it relies on that male coupler being inserted deeply into that part so that it opens that valve fully. And so in summary, when these things wear out, don't mess around. Just go and get new ones at Princess Auto. You can buy a female and 4 or 5 males for like $7 or $6. I noticed some of them are brass and some of them are some kind of steel, and I don't know what's better. Like, I don't know whether the brass ones are not as good or because they wear sooner, or although I'd have to think that wouldn't be the case because brass is a more expensive metal than whatever that is. So there must be an advantage to the brass that I'm not aware of. But if you know what the advantages of the brass fittings over the steel ones, perhaps post a comment. Thank you.